In this video, I'm going to be talking about the knight stump square. So what is the knight stump square? The knight stump square is four squares on the board upon which the knight has very limited mobility and in some kind of ways limits itself and in some circumstances also blocks other pieces for preventing this pawn in this case from promoting. So of course white is far away from his own pawn and it appears as though that white may lose his pawn. What if it were white to move? If white were to move, always most obvious method to get out of the immediate threat is to move one step up to a6. By moving up to a6, black's knight has no ability to necessarily stop it immediately. The next best move for it to move is to move over to d6. By moving to d6, he later on can move up to c8, which if he hopefully can block the square right above here, which again prevents white's pawn from promoting. However, white is always one move ahead. By moving up, now black, even though he moves up here, is always one step behind, which means that by now, white can promote his pawn to become a queen. Now let's go back to the very first scenario, looking back on this whole scenario as a whole. If black were to move, obviously it would just end in a draw, because a king and a knight cannot checkmate on either side. But it was white to move in this case. Black's knight actually prevented the king from necessarily moving all the way over. Even if white, say that's this way, white were to move, and instead of moving the knight initiative by itself, black attempts to move itself. But even if black attempts to move itself, white should not take the knight. If white takes the knight, he sure can check black, but black can take the pawn. Therefore, white's best option in this case is to move his pawn up. When he moves his pawn up in this case, the knight actually acts as a hindrance to black. Well, why you might ask why? Well, black's king cannot move over here, as this square is defended by white's pawn himself. Had black's knight not been in this position, white could have moved to the square and actually could capture white's pawn in a later square upon his promotion. In this case, white could not defend it. But because black's knight was on b7, it prevented black from taking any advantageous movement to prevent the pawn from promoting. Thus, in this case, not only the knight was ineffective in blocking the pawn, it also blocked other pieces from being able to take the pawn since it itself was unable to. And that's what we call the squares b2, b7, g2, and g7, the dumb squares. Because not only do the knight block other pieces, but it in and of itself cannot capture the pawn.